Hello, welcome. I am going to start another color along. This one will have a little bit of a surprise to it. So, for those of you that don't know, this is Creative Haven's Enchanted coloring book by Marjoriesarnat, her newest one out. And this is the gnome page. This is also a freebie that I will post a link to down in the comments. So if you don't have the book, but you still want to join or practice or play or whatever, you can go ahead and grab it and print it and do that. So usually I am a Prisma girl, but I was talking with a friend earlier and she had a few questions about black widows. And I was like, I actually haven't pulled my widows in a while. So for the first time ever in my 4 years of coloring, I am going to try to do this whole page in black widows without pulling any Prismas or helper pencils if I can help it. So for black widows, I don't have like the whole 144 color set. When I first got them, I got the scorpion set because I won it and I loved the colors. And then I got the skin set, and then I have the monarch set, but I didn't go for the full like the dragon set. And everything else, just because I don't pull these pencils a whole lot. So maybe if I play with them a little more, get a little more comfortable with them, then I will see. Then I will want the rest of the set. But for now, this set does me pretty good. You can tell which colors are loved. Like my blues are super short because I love the Black Widow blues, especially out of the scorpion set. So this green one's pretty well. But yes, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do mine in Black Widows. Now, I did swatch the colors for this tree, and I will do my best to try to remember throughout to show you the colors I'm using. So if you are following along but don't have widows, these are the colors I'm going for. With your browns, it is important that you stay in the same tone of brown. So if you have reddish browns, you want to stay with your reddish browns. If you have a green brown, you want to stay with your green browns, light, medium, dark. You don't want to have a dark green brown and a light red brown because that just doesn't mix well. You can't just pick any light, medium, dark. So I have dark chocolate, mahogany, dark tan, and fawn. And we are going to see how this goes. Now, this page looks like a lot. But I think if we break it down into steps, we'll do the tree in one, the background in one, the leaves in one. Sorry, my cat, of course, has the zoomies now. And then all the little gnomes and houses in one. It won't be so overwhelming because I think that's a lot of the intimidation with Marjorie's work is they look like a lot. So we are going to break it down together and see what we can do. I'm going to pull you in a little closer just so we can check out these pencils and the combos and how I'm doing things. And I'll pull you out at the end to see the finished effect. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm hoping my cat will settle down. I apologize ahead of time if she sounds like a herd of elephant in the background because she's a little lard. So she sounds like buffalo running through my little house. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark my dark spots. Now, widows are a harder tip than Prisma, and I have to catch myself all the time because I want to come in hard and I can't do that with these. So, I'm going to do the middle dark because this is like a little hole. I'm not going to do the whole thing dark, but I am going to outline that little hole so it has depth. Okay, now this right here looks like it's overlapping to me. Now you will see the trick. I'm not necessarily going to follow every little line Marjorie has put in. And that will take some of the intimidating factor out. You don't have to color every little swirl here. How I do it anyway. You do you. Remembering to go lightly, lightly, lightly. Okay, just where you think pieces are overlapping. Now, if you do a section and then you're like, oh, well, that probably wasn't right, that's not overlapping, it's not going to matter. There is so much of this tree going on, nobody's going to be looking that close, I promise. Okay, I'm going to hold off on the inside of that swirl for a minute. This is a darker line she put in, so I'm just going to go ahead and go over it and around the flower. Try not to color the flower like I did, but... And this is a darker line. Okay. So I'm going to work a little of this dark and then I'll come in with the other color so you don't have to watch me put one color in this whole tree, the whole video. So like I did with the heart, I'm going to leave a little gap in that hole, but I'm going to make it darker. Okay, now the tricky part is this is like a leafy thing coming in here. So I'm going to shadow around these stones and then up that. And this video probably will be a little on the slower side because it does take a little bit to kind of decipher everything that's going on. And dark brown is hard to erase, so I want to make sure I'm not coloring any of the spots that I want to emphasize the green, because I think I might do this one green. Like this. Or maybe just the leaves, but either way, I don't want to color it just yet. So taking my time deciphering what's going on here. So here she has another dark line that has leaves connected to it as well. Okay, I'm going to continue on down these steps. Now, just like with Prisma, we want to leave a fuzzy edge to blend, but we can also come back with a darker color if we need to. I'm going to say that's a hole in the tree. Now, if you are coloring this and you get stuck, like if you started at the top and I'm down here, there is a little section of this tree colored on the back. Now, I did not do the same color palette, so that will be up to you if you follow it, but you can kind of see where she put in the dark spots. Like right around there is going to be a nice dark spot next to that door. See, she colored this spot with the leaves a lighter brown, so always helpful to have a little guide, especially when you're trying to overcome some intimidation. Okay, and that leads me right down to the step, and I'm going to go ahead and shadow this area because I want my leaves to pop. So this is all tree trunk right here. I'm not sure why there's no lines, but we're going to roll with it. Okay, so that is the same thing I'm going to do all the way up the tree. So I'm going to look for where she has her darker lines. And I'm going to darken those. Now the opposite, if you don't like starting with your dark color, start with your lightest, wherever you think your lightest would be. So like right here, right there, work it backwards. I am not one for base layers. I don't want to color the whole thing one color and then come in with other colors. I do on a couple rare things here and there, but I feel like it dims my color some. So I like to have each color down on its own. Okay, just kind of eyeballing it here, seeing what I want. When I get some other colors in, it will also help with that a little. Okay. So I think I'm going to stick with this area over here for a minute. And we're going to play with some colors. So my next color is Mahogany. Okay, I'm going right over the top of that. Okay, now like right here where there's a huge spot, if you want to highlight right here, that's how you do it. Now remember, these pencils are a little different than our Prisma, so we're going to blend them a little different. But we still get a nice blended effect here. Maybe. All right. So I'm going to go ahead with my dark. I'm going to darken this little line right here. And I'm going to do the same thing. So dark chocolate, Mahogany. And right here in the tree, I'm not going to leave a very big gap or any gap for any other colors because it's kind of where it's bent. Okay. This is the dark tan. I don't know these pencils as well as my Prisma, so I have to keep looking at the names. Prisma, I can almost eyeball. I can tell you almost what color you're using or what combo you need just by looking. I am not there with Widows yet. Okay, and our fawn. And I will come back and smooth that out. But I want to go ahead and get some more in and show you the effect without making you watch a half hour of this tree. Okay. So I'm going to go Mahogany here because it's still on the inside, and then I'm going to go ahead and darken it just a little. That dark chocolate might need a touch of a darker brown, but we're going to work with it for now. I don't know if my set has one, which could be a problem. Okay. Just kind of filling in a couple spots here. I want this whole section where the curve is to be pretty dark, so I'm not going to worry about any other colors right there. Okay, and then I'm going to bring the Mahogany up Kind of blending everything out as I go. Dark tan. Okay, now this dark tan is going to be what follows around this circle. I had a little bit of harsh blending there. And just a touch of shadow on the inside here. And then I'm going to blend it out with my fawn. I don't want it to be too dark. I don't want to lose that swirl. Okay. So the corner of this tree, I'm going to go ahead and do my light layers. So there's my mahogany. My tan. See that I'm leaving little gaps, not huge, they don't have to be, you know, just enough to catch the eye. Now we have a little black line there. I will shade that with some brown, but for now I'm just kind of getting everything in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with the mahogany and just darken that line a little. And you can see this is going to be a little bit of a long process, tedious process, but the effect will be well worth it. Like I said, if you go in and put all your dark in, then go in with your next color. It'll probably go a little faster than switching pencils a whole bunch of times, but I wanted you to see what my goal was here. These colors. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a leaf or not, but I think I'm going to make it a knot in the wood. Okay, not pressing hard. Mainly reminding myself because sometimes I get to push in. I am not going to add any fawn to this section because to me this is kind of deeper in the tree. This part right here will be a highlight because it's a curve. Right here will be a highlight. Your highest points are your highlights. So like this one is going to be a curve. So like I said, if you want to go through and you want to mark with your lightest color, it will give you a nice kind of road map, and you can see if you have like a lot of dark over here and not a lot of highlights, you might want to fix that. So there is advantages to putting your light in first. Just mainly depends on preference, how you do things. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my dark here. I am going to have to find a darker brown just for my extra shadowed areas, like right next to this house and inside this hole. But I'm going to keep working with what I got for now. Just going to work on a section at a time. Okay, now this is where it starts turning into this tree. So I'm going to mark it with my lightest. And for now, I am not going to mess with it. Because I'm not 100% sure if I want them to be the same color or if I want to add a little green to it. So I'm going to add a little brown to the tips. So it'll blend with the tree where it meets. But I'm going to leave the rest alone for a minute. If you have a plan, if you want a brown, go for it. Okay, adding a little shading there, looking for my tan. nice and light. Okay. And then my dark. So I did this one a little different. I did my dark right here next to the light. It just makes it look like this branch is pulled out a little further than the rest. And that's all I was going for. Okay, we're gonna go right next to our highlight with our next lightest color. You see these pencils don't leave a lot of dust either, which is nice. Okay, back to that tan. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and come around and finish this heart. Now I want this heart to show a little, just because it is a cute heart in the tree. So I'm going to leave, like I did over here, a little highlight. And I'm going to keep the middle colors a little darker. So mahogany, nope, tan. Pay attention here. Mixing up my colors. Tan will come in next. Mahogany. Oh, here comes the cat again. I apologize ahead of time. I think they can hear the kids and stuff outside that should be in bed and aren't. So she likes to follow them window to window and watch them play. Alright, so I really like how that turned out. Okay, so when you're doing the light, let's talk about this real quick, because I've showed you when I have my dark, right? When we have dark, we build up in the same pattern every time. We go dark chocolate, and then our mahogany will always go next, right? Because we can't jump colors. So our mahogany will always go next. Okay, dark tan will always go next to the fawn. Okay, so that just kind of shows you how we're building up color here. So if you want to build backwards, you do the same thing kind of like I did right here, right? We got our fawn, so we're going to build in our tan. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about the bumping. I wanted to go ahead and mute everything. So right next to the tan, everywhere we have, or the fawn, we're going to put in our dark tan. Blend them together. Okay, everywhere we have tan, we're then going to have mahogany. And everywhere we have mahogany, we are going to have dark chocolate. So it works both ways, whatever way you need to work it. Okay, just kind of blending with this color. It's giving it a nice effect. I got a little weird spot right here where I got a little heavy with the dark, but So just like that, we have, and I put a weird streak in it. Talked too soon. Okay, so I'm going to work for about 5 more minutes. That'll be like a half hour of the tree. And then I will go ahead and upload this, and I won't do anything. And I'll let you guys decide if you want to work the whole tree together or if you want me to go ahead and move on to the background. You've got the tree figured out. Because I know some people like to follow the whole thing, because I do, but I know others are like, okay, I get it. We can move on now. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. I am planning to have this done in 4 parts, but if I need to do the rest of the tree, that can be done. 4 parts just seems to be the popular number. It's not too long, but it's not too speed done. You can't tell what I did. Being the tree is the main focus of this page. We really want it to look nice. We don't want to rush it. We don't want any white on the paper. See how everything is blended nice and smooth? We don't want any white left on our paper. Now, I don't use a blender pencil. That is up to you. I just like to blend with my pencils. So I have a little bit of highlight there, but I'm going to bring it down a little. So I did do that on purpose because I kind of wanted the end of that to be dark. So when I do the background, it stands out a little more. So see how easy we fixed that? Nope, you didn't, because it wasn't on camera. Okay. Dark. These are all dark because like they're up in the trees. See this one? See if this one is dark. So I'm automatically going to come in with the tan on the branch next to it so that they don't blend together. So I'm going to keep this branch up here a little darker. I want to make sure I bring it down because it'll look weird if my branch is dark on one side and light on the other. Okay, we're going to make that one a little darker. Now I'm going to call this an overlap because it's like this branch is in front of this one. And I'm going to call this a hole. But it's shaped like a leaf, so totally up to you if you want a more leafy page. So right at the moment, I'm just kind of putting in my dark so I can make sure it's balanced. Right here is going to be dark because this branch is over the top of this one. Okay. Right here we have kind of a lot going on. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to do this little section dark just like I did right here. So dark, mahogany, tan. And then I'm going to come back and just blend out a little bit of the lines. Okay. And this just kind of helps me see where I'm at. Now, I feel like I'm going to be due for a highlight right here somewhere. So I'm going to pick right here. I might change that one because of the table. But But I want to remember I have the light, so I want to have a little of the light everywhere. Okay, so that was not tan. I'm going to build down with the tan, which works nicely because it automatically connects over here. Okay, after tan comes mahogany. Okay, and after mahogany comes that, oh, not that, dark chocolate. And I think we got a nice balance of things going on there. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to come back and blend it. My color's a little better. I think I'm going to go ahead and add a highlight right here. And it'll look weird, so without like any blending. So we're going to take our tan, right, because our tan always comes after fawn. And we're just kind of working it all together here. All right, so there is my tree so far. Questions, comments, leave them down below. I will put this up tonight and we will see tomorrow who wants the tree and who wants to move on, and I will go from there with part 2. Thanks for watching.